Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Today we're back in War Thunder and it's time to have a look at the changelogs that we've had over the last few days. Yes, we are once again ramping up in War Thunder with some of the changelogs. Hopefully next month we have some look at least some of the dead blogs or, what's coming in the future. We had that wonderful Q&A which gave us some ideas of what's coming, and also the changelogs are obviously the things which affect the game immediately as they're put in. On top of this, I just want to let you know about something, if you didn't see the last video, that you can actually get your hands on a free Yak-9 Thrustmaster camouflage right here. It's a lovely blue one, as you can see. This was from the Phoenix tournament that was made a while ago. The issue with the tournament itself is that, unfortunately, it didn't get a lot of coverage. Hopefully we have a few more mainstream tournaments in the future, but it needs a little bit more, actual advertisement behind it. But if you want to get your hands on this free Yak-9 Thrustmaster camouflage, I'll make sure to leave a link in the description for you. Basically what you do is you just click on the link, then you go to this page after hitting the green button, and you can just put your name in, like I'm doing here for my name. You can submit it, and you will get the actual, you will get the camouflage on your account. So, let's go on to the changelogs. This one is from the 31st of the 1st, 2019, 1.85.0.110. And these are various bug fixes. So the first one is a bug where a player was unable to check module condition whilst being in the gunner's view has been fixed. So that's obviously quite nice. You want as much functionality as possible, especially after you've been hit, so you can know what's wrong and what you need to fix. There's also a bug when auxiliary weapons in automatic modes began to fire at a distance when no damage could be done has been fixed. A bug when auxiliary weapons in automatic modules began to fire at a distance when no damage could be done has been fixed. I'm guessing that's talking about naval forces with the automatic guns that they have, and maybe also it might be talking about an aircraft with the turrets, but my guess is that it's talking about the naval stuff, because a lot of the time, for a very long time since Naval's release, there has been a lot of AI-controlled guns which would just randomly fire at enemies which were absolutely miles away, and there is no way they were going to be able to hit them. So hopefully that is now more in tune with the crew skills that we have on each of the machines, and that bug is fixed. A bug when AI-controlled aircraft had landing gear animation showing when flying over an airfield has been fixed. That must have been kind of interesting. I'm guessing the idea is if they came into such a zone near the airfield, they would actually take out their landing gear, or at least it would show the landing gear, because the majority of the time if you're near an airfield as an AI, the idea is you're supposed to land. But obviously as we expand stuff like Enduring Confrontation, and also with the game modes with more AI, you're going to need machines which can go over airfields and bomb them, or maybe even in the PvE modes, go over the airfields to bomb the specific target. A bug where it was not possible to activate sniper view whilst the left mouse button was being held has been fixed. That is an interesting one, but I thought that there was a reason for that. Basically, there was a trick you could do, right, in ground forces, and what you could do is you could hold binoculars, and then you could quickly switch to the gun after, setting up your gun to be able to be in line with your binoculars, and then you could quickly fire while basically just coming straight out of binoculars really quickly. Now, they got rid of this functionality, and my idea is it was so people couldn't line up stuff with the binos and then just automatically shoot after. Now you have to wait what seems to be less than a second, but you still have to wait between the time of actually, having the binoculars open or not. And so I thought this was just kind of built into that idea, but it looks like it's an actual bug with it. This is actually going the reverse way, where you are holding left mouse before you go into the binoculars, instead of as you're coming out of them holding the mouse so it could fire, independently. So, yeah, I suppose that's nice that it's fixed, but I'm kind of surprised that that was an issue. A collision model for specific trees in Vietnam location has been fixed. So, if you haven't played a lot of Vietnam, I personally have. I enjoy the map so far. It definitely has a few frame rate issues in certain areas, but I can definitely blame my computer for that. The specific trees I'm guessing it's talking about is the ones which had larger invisible models or invisible physical models than they actually did actual models visual to you on the screen. So a lot of the larger trees, they actually took up a larger area than you could actually see from the physical model of the tree, and this meant if you if to you it looked like you just kind of like breezing past the tree, you're actually going to run straight into it. So hopefully that's what it's talking about being refined. If it's talking about the fact that when you hit trees, they seem to fall at like very low FPS, I don't really see that as a basic issue. A thing that would be nice to be fixed about trees, and this isn't just something that's on Vietnam, it's also on a lot of other maps. A lot of trees, when I play on high graphics levels, the trees themselves are very low resolution, and then when you actually shoot them, or when they actually start falling down, they become high resolution. And it's a very odd bug, it's one of those things which doesn't really make a lot of sense, unless they're not rendering in properly. So for me, that would be nice to be fixed. Hopefully in the future it will. A bug when after a player had chosen a plane after flying a helicopter, the view marker was stuck has been fixed. Okay, well that's good, making it's easier to fly a helicopter without too much stuff on the screen. A bug where the distance between vehicles was not displayed in replays has been fixed. That's nice as well. One of the things about replays that we've talked about for quite a long time is actually being able to go backwards in replays, because obviously if you go past a certain point in a replay, you can't go back to it, and therefore you have to restart the whole replay again, get to that point to get that little bit of footage. Now obviously this only affects, content creators or people who want to do screenshots or, little bits of video here and there, and it's not that much of a big issue, but it would just kind of be nice. I mean, the idea that was thrown around actually, the last idea that I talked to a few of the guys there about was they brought up the idea of what about a system where you could actually go back to specific points in each replay, so you wouldn't be able to go back to an exact, time. Instead, you go back to a predetermined point, so it's just easier for you to get back to where you were looking at. And I think that's a good idea. It would be nice to see that implemented in game as kind of a stopgap measure, but it is nice that they got rid of this bug here. A bug where after the multiplier value in the head movement axis settings was changed, the actual speed of movement did not change has been fixed. Well, that's good, because if you change your settings, you would hope that the game would change to accommodate them, and obviously that wasn't happening here. A rare bug when sometimes a destroyed aircraft was credited to an incorrect player has been fixed. Rare is an interesting word, but the key thing here is that they changed the way that crits and fires, crits worked for ground forces before Christmas, at least around that time, maybe even before New Year's. And the idea is they expanded what a crit was from 2 people to 1 person, and also in the ground vehicle, and also fires became critical hits as well. So it basically meant that it was easier for you to get assists, it was easier for you to get kills. It seemed though, while putting in this new system, it screwed with aircraft confirmed kills and assists, where certain critical hits were not counting as critical hits, and therefore you could do a ridiculous amount of damage to an enemy plane, and it would crash, and you wouldn't get a kill or you wouldn't get an assist. So hopefully that's what this is talking about it fixing, but when I read this, that it doesn't give me optimism, right? Instead, this just looks like it's a crediting issue when it actually comes to who actually shot it down. So this is a working out who has crit the plane last, because the way that the new ground forces kill credit works is whoever crit the tank last, before it gets killed, that is the person who actually gets, the kill on it. So it doesn't matter how much you've crippled an enemy, whoever gets the last crit on it to finish the vehicle gets the kill. So if they've put that into aircraft, which is supposed to be how it was supposed to be, then that's good. But also, does it solve the issue that we were having before with the problem of criticals not being expansive enough for aircraft? I was told at the time that aircraft kills and stuff like that were bugged. If this is the fix, hopefully it does fix it. If not, I'll do some testing on it, then we'll have to revisit the issue. A bug where a player flying a helicopter did not have the view direction centered after changing view modes has been fixed. God damn, can you imagine that? Like, changing view modes and then it screws up, what you're actually looking at. Oh, that would not be fun. That would kind of be like that machine gun on the Semavente, which isn't, angling straight when you actually try and fire straight. That would be infuriating to me. A bug where the kill cam showed a field repair icon has been fixed. What? Well, I've had a few times where kill cams have just not shown up recently. So that to me is more of an issue than just a random field repair icon just appearing, which is, that's more funny than anything else. But yeah, hopefully that is fixed as well. A bug where heat flares could not be used in helicopters when in sight view has been fixed. That's kind of an odd bug, but it's nice to see that's also fixed. So mainly, we've had some map fixes, we've had some AI fixes, we've had some helicopter fixes, we've also had some, tank and aircraft fixes, bug fixes across the board, which is lovely to see. Now on to the next update. This is 0.112. This only fixed one little thing. A bug when replays recorded after the release of update 1.5 did not work has been fixed. However, replays recorded after update 1.85.0.110 and until this one, during the last day, still cannot be played. Well, that's a bit of an issue. I personally haven't run into this problem, but I've been doing much more live commentary than replays at the end of the day, so hopefully this gets fixed soon, just from a content creator's point of view, and also if you want to report, players, or if you want to report some dodgy stuff that you see in game, obviously this would be a lot easier to do that from, so hopefully this gets fixed soon. I'm sure it will be. They're normally quite quick on the major bugs that need to be fixed, and the things that are missing out so far is obviously some more clarification on the new armor penetration stuff that's going to come into the game, including how APDS is going to work. That would be lovely to see. And on top of this, there is also some of the bugs that are inherent in the Italian ground forces, which I know have been reported, such as the machine guns not being aligned and issues with stat cards and also issues with engine power and all of this. But hopefully soon all of those will get cleared up in the coming week or so. Anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.